It's Friday, January 27, 2023, and welcome to another episode of Zodiacs, brought to you by the Divo with my special co-host, Mr. Richard Wayne Kilgo II. Hi,
So special.
how are you doing?
I am good. I'm loving this. It's always Friday when we meet, but today it especially feels like a Friday and ready to relax into the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. How about you?
I'm good. I've been at Christians all week, so it's always my energy is always a little different because I'm not in I'm u- I'm used to working till 1 o'clock in the morning and on the computer and when I'm in his place, we have this rule of not working at the
Hmm.
couch. So my energy gets thrown off because I'm like, I want to
Hmm.
work and I won't. And yes, Elizabeth, welcome to the show. Thank God it's Friday.
Hmm.
For those of you that are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, thank you for being part of the show. We invite you and we ask you to please share this on your pages so that other people can watch with you or tag people so they can join us. If you're watching us on YouTube, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It'll let you know every time there's a new show on Little Mexican Productions Inc. And remember, we got stuff all week long now. On Monday mornings, you can check out the horoscopes on all of our social pages on and in the evenings every other Monday we have Insightful, a movie review show, which where we review old movies that we like and through a new insight. And coming up in not next Monday, following Monday, we're going to be reviewing Torch Song Trilogy. So if you're a fan of the movie, if you've seen it, come and chat with us. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I'll be posting a link to where you can find it. But if you're a fan of Torch Song Trilogy, come on the show. We want to hear you talk about it. Sending your messages. On Wednesdays, we got Christian and Daniel's show. On Fridays, we've got the Card Table Presents Zodiacs. And on Saturday mornings, we've got Put It Together live stream. And my guest this week is Mr. Paul Olenhall, who is going to come and talk to us about senior programs that you can do in your community. So make sure you
That's
stay
cool.
tuned to that. It's a really interesting show. We're going to be talking while we get to our first reader. Um, if you remember the game Simon, do you remember that game? Yes. Little did I know, and that was a it's a very good game for people with memory issues, um, with people on with dementia or Alzheimer's. It brings their attention back because it's repetitive, and they can
Hmm.
concentrate on it. So he runs a program called Simon for Seniors, where they donate these games to senior centers so that they can have games and they have like little mini marathons and Olympics and stuff. So
That's so cool.
we're working on bringing one to Southern California through Little Mexican Productions Inc. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow Saturday at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you check in with that.
That's
Um,
so cool.
but before we start, Mr. Kilgo, you have some information to share with us.
Yes. So just wanted to do not a super in-depth astrology update, but something that if you follow any type of astrologer on social media right now, you're probably seeing all the messages about there are no retrogrades right now. We won't have any retrogrades until April 21st. And April 21st is when Mercury will go retrograde once again. So most everyone will most likely feel like the things that you've been working on, the things that have challenged you over the last 3 to 6 months, all of those blockages have pretty much been lifted. The lessons that you've needed to learn, hopefully you have. If not, there's always that opportunity to continue to learn and grow from the things that have been happening. But overall, this period of time up until April 21st is really the time to make things happen. Traction will happen in pretty much every aspect of your life. Things are running on all cylinders. And then especially, I think, because we're obviously in Aquarius now, we'll finish out the astrological year in Pisces. And then basically coming into April is Aries, when we'll see that next retrograde. So I feel like this is really the time to finish clearing out and really taking stock of what you've learned over the past 3 to 6 months, those big challenges. Journaling would be great for doing that right now. And basically really with this Aquarius energy as well, really relying on your friendships, relying on your close connections, and really, loving your ideas, loving your your fantasies and the things that you want to move forward with, this is definitely the time in Aquarius to do that as well. So just know that there's a lot of traction and a lot of push that's now coming behind you, where maybe you've been feeling stuck because we've had, anywhere from 2 to 6 retrogrades happening concurrently. And, that creates some chaos in our life, but it's directing the chaos in the places where we need to release, where we need to love, and being able to process that and move forward. So I think that everyone should be hopefully feeling this great energy coming into it, especially if you've been facing some really heavy issues and challenges in your life. So that is my astrology update.
Excellent. Thank you. For everybody who's watching us for the first time, we want to remind you that in order to get a card reading from us, and we alternate back and forth, you must put me in the comment section, whatever channel you're watching on, put me. That gives us the energetic permission to tap into your energy and give you a reading. And then once we're done, we'll give you back your energy. You can take it home with you, do whatever you want with it. But you must type me. For those of you that have been on the show before, you know how we do it. Also, if you're available to tip or donate, we do accept tips and donations. So there is our right there, over there is our Cash App and memo. And yes, I do share with Wayne. So if you tip us, it goes for both of us. So make sure, and it's scrolling down at the bottom. So make sure that you do that. If you want to do Zelle or PayPal, those are available. Just let me know in the comments, and I'll share that with you. But we're gonna get started. Wayne, would you like to start this week?
Sure, I shall.
All right, so we're going to do Elizabeth first, and then Rosie, you'll be with me after Elizabeth, so don't go anywhere. And then we've got Captain JT after that with Wayne. So just hold on, and we'll be back with you. Oh, were you going to go first with Elizabeth?
Yes, okay. Sorry, okay. I'm just shuffling.
I'll chit chat while you shuffle. So, reminding everybody, I was making a joke with Wayne before we started that with nothing going on really, there's nothing going to be up your Uranus this for the next several weeks. So
Uranus is clear.
Nothing there, folks. Nothing to see. You can just sit back and relax for this time. So I'm going to mute myself so Wayne can read Elizabeth.
Perfect. Okay, so Elizabeth, it looks like right now the two things that are at focus for you is career, money, finances, physical needs being met, as well as intimate relationships. So starting out for you, you now is the 7 of Wands. So this tells me that you're currently in a period of battle, of fighting. This can be mental battles. This can be, I don't think that it's any type of physical battles unless you're an MMA fighter, and I don't feel that you are. But it feels like you've been having to battle for quite some time, and you're finally making headway where you actually are starting to make progress. The battles that you're making, you really feel like you're starting to win instead of it being stalemated or feeling like it was a loss and you have to come back again tomorrow. But what's challenging you at this time is the King of Cups. So what that tells me is that there is definitely deep, heavy emotions that you're processing, that you're having to deal with right now, that have come to the forefront. Most likely dealing with some type of masculine energy in your life, since it is the king. So that would tell me that, there is also potentially challenges for you being able to emotionally process everything that's currently happening in your life. The theme right now for you is the Ace of Pentacles. So with that being said, that's really what you have, the energy that's around you. So it tells me that career, finance, and again, physical needs being met are at the forefront for you, and they're kind of in focus. Recent past to your present is the Hierophant. So this would tell me that in the recent past coming up to the present, you've been playing the game. You've been doing exactly what you feel like you've been told you should do. You've been doing everything that everyone around you has been telling you to do. And there's still this challenge. There's still frustration. And in your current influences, you have the Lovers reversed. So it tells me that it feels like the community that's surrounding you right now, although they are wanting to be helpful, although they're wanting to give you good, loving advice that's better for you, it really, to me, it comes across as they are not understanding the situation. And it feels like the advice that they're giving you makes you feel worse about what you feel like you actually want to do. So you need to let yourself off the hook and know that the people around you are trying to give you good counsel, but they're not counseling what's best for you and what's best for your heart. And as long as you continue to kind of let your friends help you, or I guess not help you, but make you decide that this is the way you should be handling things, you need to be able to understand that you're headed towards continual loss, and that you really need to get in tune with what it is that you want. How do you want your daily life to look? And how do you want to be able to support yourself as needed, if needed? And putting that at the forefront, I think, is really going to help you understand. Your internal influences is the devil reversed. So it makes me feel like you feel like you're doing everything wrong. Like everyone makes you feel like you're doing things wrong. If your community is making you feel like you're doing things wrong, and they're still embracing you and trying to change you, but it's not necessarily in the way that's best for your highest good. What the universe wants you to do is focus on your own truth. The Hermit. I absolutely love this card for you, because it really does mean that you have to stand alone at this time. You may feel even more alone than ever, but it's really going to help you understand what you need the most. And I love this for you. Your outcome, if you're able to take the time to do that and really live by your own truth and allow yourself to be your best counsel, you'll have new emotional beginnings for you as well. So although you're in a really challenging time, especially speaking to the astrology aspects that I just spoke to you, once you decide what it is that you want, even if it's a challenging path to follow, you're going to find success in it. You're going to find gold in it and be able to move forward and have a new emotional start.
Awesome. Elizabeth, I hope that resonates with you. Next, I'm going to read for Rosie. Captain JT is with Wayne, and then Rosie Corona. We got two Rosies on tonight, and then Rosie Corona will be with me. So, Rosie Alvarez, starting with you. In your past, in your yesterday, there's all about the anxiety upside down. So, it's telling me that some of that anxiety and stress, an overwhelming feeling that's been all around you lately is starting to come to an end. One thing I want to share is that you're in your picture, you have a red shirt, and the lady here has a red shirt, just to let you know. But in your today is all about the appreciation. So I feel like part of the anxiety and the stress and the relieving of that overwhelming feeling, it's just appreciating that what's happening around you. Now, people say, how can we appreciate the bad things or the negative things that happen around us? By learning a lesson from it or from getting something out of it. Every negative, anything wrong, anything that doesn't happen right has a learning lesson around it. If you just look a little further, there's that silver lining. So right now, Rosie, it's about seeing the silver lining or learning a lesson in the situations that were bringing you the stress and anxiety. In your tomorrow is the deceived card. And again, look at that. It's wearing the red too. So it's all about your energy right now. But do not deceive yourself. And what do I mean by that? Don't talk yourself out of your gut feelings and your intuition. They're very accurate at the moment, except you're trying to talk yourself out of it. And you know what that's going to cause? It's going to put you right back at the anxiety and the stress level because your spirit is opening. This is your, not only is it the card representing your spirit, but it's the spirit card. So your spirit is opening up, and that's probably why you're feeling everything. Everything just seems so extra and dramatic. It's like, everything happens at once. And probably it is happening at once. That's why you're being so, feeling so overwhelmed and stressed out. But it's just that your spirit is opening up a little more, particularly when you're it's about your heart. In your heart there is the caring connections heart. So this could be one of two things. There is a special somebody in your life that is causing some of these anxieties and stress to happen, particularly because we're I feel like I'm taking everything so literal, and everything is coming like I'm taking everything to heart. And then, again, this could be with a relationship or just like that second ripple, which is friendships and cousins, people like that. Now, the outcome of this is the door to uh, personal healing and prosperity. And this is just there's already a path laid over you. If this person is suddenly changing and caring for you and doing for you, and that's what's causing you stress, like, why are you suddenly taking care of me? Because you deserve it and you've earned it. Now, raise your hand, people, if sometimes we get all the love in the world and we question why. Why are you loving on me? Why are you taking care? Why are you doing this? And we're like, because I love you. And we're like, stop it. And then we spend a lifetime looking for somebody who's going to take care of us. So what it tells me is that some of this anxiety is coming from relationships, but this is something that's going to help you heal because you've opened your door to spirit. So stop lying to yourself and appreciate the situation for what it is. And that's going to help you along the way. I hope that helped. So next we got Captain JT, and then Rosie Corona is with me. And then Juan Rodriguez will you'll be with Wayne. So don't go anywhere.
Awesome. All right, Captain JT, I remember you from last week, but I don't remember what we talked about at all. So hopefully this will make sense for you. But and looking over the overall spread, I'll tell you, it feels like there is some type of deal that you're waiting to accept, or there's some type of benefactor that you're looking to hire on, someone to help you further progress with your vision. This is definitely career motivated, bringing in money, abundance motivated as well. But overall, so I get a sense of you now, Six of Pentacles. You're looking for someone to help you take your work to the next step. You've been looking for this person. It feels like you've been pretty active in looking for them, and you've been waiting for a message from the universe on, who's the right person, bring the right person into my life, make sure, that your vision is clear, and really wanting to make sure that what you manifest is what you want and not what the other person wants, because you really want your voice to be maintained as clear, is what I feel. And there is, I feel like there's a sense of you wanting to rush into making this happen, that feels like now's the only moment, and if I miss this moment, it's not going to happen. However, I would caution you, your intuition is strong right now around what is coming in, what is best for you, and what may be brought in through another party, another person in your life, whether this is someone that you know or not. So your intuition is definitely at focus. Your dreams also right now would be very, there might be some good insights for you and advice in writing down your dreams and doing, some dream, looking up your dreams, looking up what it means. I do Google searches when there's something that I'm not quite sure of myself, but that would be helpful to you. Current influences is the Nine of Cups reversed, which this is the Genie card. So what this tells me is that whatever it is that you're wanting to move forward with, your creative vision, bringing in this money, whatever you put out, the universe is going to say yes to, but it's important to make sure that you know what you're saying yes to, because I see in your future influences the Nightmare card. So if you rush into this too quickly, or if there's anything with this potential partnership or relationship that you're looking for, that doesn't feel right to you, your intuition is on point, and it's something that will not necessarily turn out great for you. You're really focused on maintaining what you have, but also wanting it to grow without having to do too much of an investment. So I think that it's important to note that what the universe is telling you is that it's time to just accept things as they are. The Death card is really about, allowing yourself to know that things have changed, and that there's a different way to move forward, and that the way that you thought or the way that you've been successful up to this point, you're needing to switch things up. And if you're able to do that, your outcome, you will come home successful. And I do think that you will. It's just a matter of making sure that whoever it is that you are joining forces with to move your vision forward, make sure that they pass your intuition check. If they don't, then there's still going to be other opportunities for other parties to come along and help you out.
Cool. I hope, Captain JT, thank you for coming back to the show. We appreciate you watching.
Mm-hmm.
Again, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. Um, I'm taking Rosie, and then Juan, you'll be with Wayne, and then Kira, you'll be back with me. We got all of you. So Rosie, how you doing, Rosie? Welcome back to the show. Starting off with your yesterday. In your yesterday, we see the broken heart. Like, for everybody out there with a broken heart, anytime you get something like that, does it mean a relationship? Not, yes, but it doesn't always mean a love relationship. It could be a personal relationship. You can be heartbroken by a decision made at work, personal, professional, with your family. But I see a broken heart in your past, in your yesterday. And part of this comes from the attachment card. So I feel like we're separating, and that attachment is coming apart, and that's causing some of that heartache and some of that heartbreak. Remember, it always does. It does include people, places, and things when it comes to attachments. So we could be detaching from people, person, or things, or we're getting too attached, and that's causing the situation. Because again, if we are too attached and they're not responding to us the way we want to, that can cause us some heartache. Now, in your tomorrow, there is the female energy holding the coin. This usually represents you. So, is there money issues that are causing some attachment issues that are causing us to have heartbreaks? Are we a little low on funds? Are we not able to get everything that we want? Not necessarily what we need, just everything that we want. So just pay attention to that. Uh, Interesting enough, here is the personal healing and happiness card. So I feel, and this in your space, in your spirit space. So I feel like your spirit was interrupted. Something came along, probably the financial situation, that caused us to have to go through some issues that caused the heartache. Because in your heart there's the envy energy, so there are some people around us throwing up some envy. Now because it's in your heart, I'm going to say that, not that you're an envious person or you're selfish or you're like, mirror mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of the wall. No, not that kind of envy. I just feel like maybe we are looking, wanting, or expecting some things to go our way like they did for somebody else. They don't always work that way. So fairy tales, for they're different for each person. So make sure that you're in your lane, that you live in your reality, grounded, but you are allowed to dream. And finally, it's the happy family card. So what it tells me is that there is the issue that will be resolved when it comes to your family. Will the solution is coming, because what it tells me is that part of my broken heart is because of some of that envious energy inside of me when it comes to family issues. But know that your path is laid, financial situation will get fixed, and that'll allow you to detach from the things that are holding you back and reaching your personal happiness. I hope that helps. But doesn't that make sense? Like sometimes we inadvertently, like we don't mean to envy anybody, but we're human. And sometimes like
Mhm.
I'll see Wayne and he's in his relationship and I'm like, oh my God, they're so happy. Darn it. And it's only because there's something rough going on in my relationship that I will envy in the moment. Does that make sense, Wayne?
Absolutely. And I know they always say comparison is the thief of joy. So it's hard because it is something natural. I mean, our mind is meant to, we're constantly comparing, constantly analyzing things. So I definitely think that's true. And it's hard to remember sometimes,
So for
especially
all of
when you're in
y'all,
your feels about it.
yes. So for everybody out there, like Wayne's in the fields, it's a feeling, it's a moment. Feel it. Yes. Oh my God, I wish I had that. God, universe, let me manifest my own happiness. Let me manifest my own relationship to be the way I want it. Elizabeth says, thank you so much. So on point. You're welcome, Elizabeth.
Beautiful.
So then Juan, then Kira, and then Gabe.
Perfect. All right, Juan. So overall, I feel like your energy right now, outward, your life around you, there's a lot of emotional fulfillment. There's new beginnings in it too. So I'm not quite sure where that's from or where that's leading. We'll probably get into that. But overall, I get a sense of it really is a good period for you emotionally. Your emotions are at focus. Interestingly, you now is the moon. So this card I would also say is also a very important one to remember your dreams. Write down your dreams if you are remembering them. The subconscious is definitely what's at focus for you right now. So you may find yourself. I feel like when you're communicating with loved ones, people around you, friendships, relationships, it feels like the communications are different. Although I would say the context hasn't necessarily changed, and that would tell me that's because you're coming from a much more subconscious place in your life, and really the deeper motivations, the things that have happened to you in the past, have really are shaping and forming who you've become, so to speak. And while the outward world celebrates you, I would say especially family feels very important to you. This is your challenge card, so I feel like it's hard for you to accept the love sometimes that surrounds you, especially from the community that is around you. Your theme is the Fool. So this would tell me that really, like, what's at focus? You want a fresh start. You want a new beginning. You want yeah, that's exactly, you want that fresh start, new beginning. Interestingly, in your past position, the Six of Cups, and this card is about looking into the past memories, past ancestors, family that maybe has passed over to the other side is at focus too. So there's definitely a focus of wanting to move forward new and refreshed, and that you have been contemplating the past quite a bit and what's been happening in the past. Leading to your present influences, which is the Ten of Cups. So this is all about emotional fulfillment at its highest. There's always the opportunity to move to a higher level and then continue to grow from there. But in your current state, the emotional lessons that you've learned, especially over the last, I would say, year or two, are really coming to fruition for you. And you found a new peace, a new center, and happiness, even though I know there's some stuff eating at you. We'll get to that in just a second. But with future influences, we have the King of Cups. So that tells me that there is this opportunity, and you are moving towards being even more so a master of your emotions and being able to better master your emotions with yourself as well as the people that surround you and those people that are important to you. Because, like I said, I really feel like there's a close knit group of blood and non blood family, chosen family, that you've surrounded yourself with. The card that's tripping you up right now that I feel is your focus is the devil. So this tells me that you're seeing yourself from your more negative qualities, from a more negative light. And while someone may be speaking wonderful things about the things that you do for them and how generous you are and how generous you are with your time and like donating your time, being able to do things for other people, whereas you're doing those things and then it's like your inner devil is telling you you're not good enough. These people aren't caring about you. And in a way, it makes you feel like you need to do more. But that's just what you're telling yourself, that there's some type of, I would say, trauma, most likely from growing up, probably in your teen years, where it's hard for you to be able to accept compliments and really accept genuine love from other people that isn't in a preset formula of saying I love you, or saying I love you before you say goodbye, or texting someone and saying I love you good morning, those types of things. But what the universe wants you to focus on is what you've grown, the King of Pentacles. So while typically this has a career focus or an abundance focus with money coming in, I feel like that is something that you have in your life currently. But what, in context to your reading, I would say that knowing that you really do try to do the best for yourself and all the people that are involved in your life, and the universe is trying to help you see that surround you. I feel like there's maybe some help that you're getting from family and friends now because of the person that you've been up to this point. And the outcome for you is the Page of Swords. So to me, this tells me accept the messages that are being delivered to you. The people that are in your life, the people that love and care about you, the ones that you have been there for consistently, want you to know that what they say is true and to not dismiss it, not let your inner demon or your inner devil stop you from being able to know that the people that you've focused your time and love on, they are appreciating it and they see you for who you are, even if you have a hard time seeing yourself with the projected negative traits. So just embrace that a little bit more.
Cool. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your donation. We really appreciate it. Thank you. For
Uh-huh.
everybody just joining us in, I want to remind you, you must put me in the comment section. Just put me in the comment section and we will pull the cards for you. Everybody gets the basic reading. If you want something even more personal, one-on-one, I will put our Instagram link so that you can message us privately for one-on-ones, and then we will give you our individual pricings and how to set that up. But thank you, Elizabeth. Kira says, hey, everybody. Hey, Kira. So it's Kira, then Gabe, and then I'm waiting for Tony to put me in the comment section to go for him, but Tony will be after that. So I got Kira, right? And then you got Gabe. Yes. All right,
Yes.
cool. Kira, how are you doing? Let's start off with this. First of all, Cornucopia, this is in your yesterday. Do I have everything that I want? And I mean, everything that I need? No, I feel like everything you need is not available to you right now. Mainly because in your today, it's the yin yang, but it came up upside down for you. And the reason that you don't have everything that you need in front of you at the moment, I think it's because things are not where they're supposed to be. Normally, we're half responsible for things to be where they're supposed to be. But I feel like the universe is setting some things up for you. Deep breath, be a little patient, and things will work out. Particularly when it comes because the thinking male energy, you're in a very male energy pose at the moment, um, which is tends to be the male energy tends to be the gatherer and hunter and the making things happen. But because things are not happening at the speed that you're wanting to, it's throwing you off at the moment. But just know that don't overthink things, don't overanalyze, don't. And I hate the word "don't," but it's appropriate. I feel like we're questioning everything, every step of the way. We're questioning. So whatever is being constructed, built, put together for you, I feel like we're trying to micromanage everything. Take a deep breath, take a step back, particularly because your spirit is making some decisions at the moment. It's time to make the decisions. And that once you make the decision and stop overthinking, things will start to fall into place. Now, in your heart chakra, it's really interesting because in your heart chakra, there is the fourth chakra, which is your heart chakra. So things are not balanced right now because your heart is basically in the dryer right now. It's just tumbling all over the place. Once the time that was a good analogy. I have to write that one down. Once it stops, once it stops, then you'll figure out. But overthinking is sending your heart in a spiral, and just trust your heart. It knows what it's doing. Don't question everything in the decision. And this is going to get you back to being the healer that you were meant to be. So the doer, the creator, the manifester that you normally are is being overrun by your overthinking. So everything that I need in life will come to it once I put my heart into it. And you'll start being the healer that you want to be as soon as you make those decisions. Stop overthinking and things will fall into place. So I'm gonna just put it back on you. The universe is like, I've been trying to deliver what you want, but you just don't seem to want to answer the door. So are you ready for the next step in your life or not? That's entirely up to you. So okay, we already did Juan. Rosie says, thank you so much. Right on point. You're welcome, Rosie. And then we got Mr. Gabe.
Awesome. All right. So, Gabe, right now, it looks like you are coming from a place of celebration, being celebrated in family and friendships as well. This card's popped up a few times today. Um, and so that's kind of interesting. Definitely a corded energy going on today. But so right now, there is celebration at hand, at focus for you. And that is very exciting. The card that's crossing you or your current challenge is the Hierophant. So this tells me the Hierophant represents society, represents organizations, large organizations, government, business, large businesses, those types of things, or kind of, I take it more so, especially for you, as being like society at large, or what we think that we're expected to do in society, being a person out in the world. And that's the card that's crossing you. So I feel like there's some type of like work that you're trying to do to go beyond what society expects. I don't know if there's some type of like $1 million idea that you have or some type of drive that you have to move forward, but it feels like that's really what you're trying to challenge or what you're feeling challenged by, that there's this opportunity for you to um, challenge the norm is really like what's coming through and coming forward. The theme for you is the 10 of Pentacles. So this does tell me that this is finances, material needs being met, career related at focus. And it's really a culmination of all of the work that you've done up to this point. So there is basically, like, I feel like you are coming to the end of this period of immense growth. And I feel like you are shape shifting and ready to move on to an entirely new chapter that is influenced by those experiences, but not necessarily in the same vein that you've been in recently. So with that being said, recent past is the star reversed. So this would tell me the work that you've been doing, the things that you've done up to this point, there was a lot more passion and excitement behind it, but I feel like you've learned as most as you can from the experiences that you've had. I feel like there's training involved that's been there as well, but there's just not that same excitement for what you've been doing. Although your work to a degree has been appreciated, I feel like this next step that you're trying to do that is challenging society at large or challenging the realm of what you're working in. It's not enough for you. You're wanting to move it further. And in a way, I feel like you're not necessarily wanting this, but there's a change at hand for you. Future influences is the death card reversed. With this being reversed for you, I feel like this is one that you're probably going to resist a little bit. Only because it really is one that it's shifting your entire world and everything will be different than it's been up to this point. And also supporting this card is with your internal influences. It's the Six of Swords, which is also about moving away from old issues. So this could be a physical move that you may be taking, but definitely an emotional change. You've decided, I'm no longer going to live my life the way that I have in the past, and I need to move forward. With this focus for you, it's something that maybe you're fearing doing. It's something that you're afraid to take that leap and say, okay, I'm absolutely done and I'm moving forward. The universe in this is going to support you. However, it feels like you feel like there's a certain way you should be going about this. And that is, again, that's like the Hierophant speaking. That's where you're being challenged. But for you, it's understanding that you are coming forward in the best possible way, especially when you embrace your creative side. I feel like there's a real creative mind with you, and like even to the degree of like I can't think of the word, not a scientist, but someone who an engineer. I feel like you have an engineer's mind. That's like really what's at focus for you. Um, and with that being said, whatever it is that you're trying to bring forward, know that it's coming from a place of trying to heal some type of past wound or something that you see in the world at large that feels wrong, that has caused you hurt in the past as well. So typically when this card comes up, there is hurt and pain being dealt with. However, with this as an outcome card, I don't feel like you're coming into that pain. I feel like you're continuing to process it and trying to find solutions for it. So embrace the change is the best that I can say. Embrace this opportunity for you to step away from where you've been, and knowing that this is no longer a creative space for you and it's time for you to move on to the next.
Okay, cool. I hope that made sense to you, Mr. Gabe. So I'm going to read Tony next. Zorina, you're after Tony, but let me read some of the comments so we can catch up to those. Captain JT says, yes, thank you. I just gave you that voice. I don't know what you sound like, but that's my voice. Um, Rosie Corner says, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I'm glad it made sense to you. Juan Rodriguez says, wow, thank you. So on point. Thank you. You're most welcome. And Tony is asking, am I going to find someone? And where is it? Hello, Mr. Cardivo. Oh, there it is. Hi to your guests. Hello, everybody. My card is the music computer. Well, interesting enough, Mr. Tony Gala. By the way, with FYI and trivia, Mr. Tony Gala is actually the person that gave me the nickname, the Cardivo.
Oh,
He's the first person to call me El Divo de las Cartas in Spanish, which translates to the Cardivo. So he's actually the godfather of the nickname. So thank you
that's
for
so
giving me.
cool.
Yeah. So Tony, you want to talk about relationship, music, and future? We got you. So number one in your yesterday, here's your strategy. The reason that some things are working right now is because of the strategy that you're putting into place. So don't let anybody confuse you, talk you out of it, or influence the strategy that you've set up for you. Particularly when it comes to, you wanted to hear about relationships, about caring connections. There's already some caring connections there. I feel like we're just not paying attention. Now, I'm going to use something that I know because I'm friends with Tony. You are very heavy in your career. So, if this is for everybody out there. This is a little bit of spiritual life coaching. Imagine, those pie charts that we all do have. We've all seen a pie chart. If you have a pie chart and you divide it and you say, this much is me, this much is my family, work, social, hobbies, whatever. If at the end of that breakdown, there is not some leftover percentages for relationships, we only have 100%. There's no such thing in spirituality of 110. There's 100%. And if in that 100%, you do not have room enough for a relationship worthwhile, you're not going to have a relationship. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. But like you can't. People come. I'm sure they come to you and too. Like, I want to be in a relationship and I'm ready for love. And you're like, okay, so do you have time for a relationship? Well, I'm working a lot and I have my family and I do this and I do that. I'm like, well, where do you want to be? Well, when they come, I'll make time. Well, that's not how the universe works.
Got to
So
create the space for it.
right now, if you want a relationship, do you and are you willing? Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't have. I feel personally that the only reason my relationship with Christian works is because I was already a workaholic when he came into my life, and he knew what he was going to do. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll make space for you, whatever. But this is your outcome. It's just the thinking, man. So I feel like you're heavy into thinking where you're going with the strategy, but there is space in there. Just make time for it. Now in your spirit there's some hostilities. We got to let go of those hostilities in our spirit. Who wants to come into a hostile environment in a relationship? So people can read between the lines, and this goes for everybody too. If you are single and you want to be in a relationship but you're not at peace with yourself and you're not in a relationship with yourself, it's impossible to bring somebody into that. Your energy will reject them every single time. So make sure you're at peace with yourself before you bring somebody in. It's like inviting somebody to sleep over and you don't clean your house. or change the sheets or nothing. Yeah, exactly. So, and I say this also because in your heart space, there's the storms. There's still some storms in your heart that are not settling down, which is probably why the caring connection is there. We just need to make space for it. And finally, you're coming on tide. This came up upside down, so we're untying. You're coming out of that tide that you were in. So as you start releasing that, things will get better. So what it tells me is that we put a strategy in place to let go of the storms, so you can untie yourself and let go of the hostilities. Stop overthinking. That seems to be a theme tonight. Stop overthinking, and the connections, the love connections will come. They'll come by themselves as soon as you put some of this into work. Ahí están. Hello, love is here. Love is in the air. I'm not going to sing, folks. So I'm just so I hope that made sense for you, Tony. So for everybody else watching, of course, if you get read and you're willing and able to tip or donate, our cash and Venmo are right there at the bottom. They're accepted. It's okay. So we're going to go with Serena, and then Bobby is after that, and then Jose.
Awesome. All right. So, Zarina, looks like career is at focus for you right now. The You Now card is the Six of Pentacles. So this tells me that there's some type of benefactor. Likely either you're the benefactor or you're looking for the benefactor to assist you and be able to get you through what seems like a challenging time for you and having your material needs being met. The card that's crossing you is also a six, the Six of Wands. So you're definitely having this six energy where I feel like five in numerology is really like the peak of the challenge. It's the most exciting part of the movie where the action is happening. And then 6 through 10 is kind of the tying up of strings of everything else. So the actions happen, it's the learning of the lessons, and it's moving forward from there. So what this would tell me is that there's been some type of huge challenge that you've overcome in your life, and a battle of sorts that has occurred. And now you're in the space where you're really trying to figure out and learn from it. And you want to be able to come home celebrated and be able to come home and celebrate yourself. I feel like that's really important, that like your morals are very important to you and how you show up on a daily basis for yourself and others. With that being said, your theme right now is the Eight of Pentacles. So this would tell me that there's also a sense of appreciation for yourself of the work you've done, but also that there's a sense of wanting more admiration from others and wanting to be able to be recognized for the work that you've come and brought to the table. With that being said, your recent past affecting the present is the Nine of Wands. And this card is kind of known as the Don't Lick Your Wounds card, and it is reversed. So what this tells me is that I feel like there is praise in your career. There is things that are happening for you, but there's been some experiences that you've had in the past. I feel like likely with a supervisor and or other coworkers where negative things being said about you, whether it was behind your back or whether it was to your face, or I feel like it was more communal. Like the message was sent to the group and everyone got the message and understood that it was about you. So there's some type of something that's happened there. And I think it's really skewed your view on how people perceive you and what you have going on. With that being said, your current influences is the Hanged Man. So this would tell me you're in a period of stasis. Things feel like they're turned upside down. It feels like you're restricted. And also, really, the message from this card is to see things from a new perspective. Allow yourself to believe that what has been said about you, what you feel people have said about you, isn't true, because you know whether or not it is. And if it is, you can own that part of yourself and you can heal that part of yourself and move forward. But right now, it feels like you're kind of caged in, things are moving slow, and that you're not really able to move forward in the way that you want to freely. However, future influences coming into being is the Eight of Wands. So with the Eight of Wands, that means that things are going to start happening more quickly for you, and there is an opportunity for you to move forward. However, your current focus right now, what you have power over, what you're focused on, is the devil. So this tells me that there's still this strong emphasis on the negative qualities that you believe that you have. Now, some of those things may be true. However, It's all about seeing ourselves through the eyes of love and recognizing when those devilish parts of ourselves pop up, or our deeper desires or things that we feel ashamed about pop up. We want to hide those things, but it's important for you to embrace and love those parts of yourself. The universe is giving you strength in being able to do that. The universe wants you to know how strong you are and how capable you are, and to understand how much your light dims when you allow other people to write the narrative for you, so to speak. And people are always going to talk, people are always going to say the things that they're going to say. So it's important for you to understand what's true actually to you, and know that even if someone's telling you something that's contrary to that, that is the way that it is. With that being said, your outcome is the Five of Pentacles, which typically represents homelessness to a degree. Well, I don't feel like that's necessarily the physical aspect that you're going to be facing as an outcome. To me, it's being able to overcome the feeling of not being included or not being a part of things. There's going to be strength in this lesson for you in the future. I absolutely feel it, but it's important that you embrace and understand that sometimes you won't be understood. Sometimes you'll be misunderstood. Sometimes you'll be maliciously misunderstood. People will make sure to point things out to confuse you as well. So, embrace and know that you have your own back and that you are seeing things clearly for yourself. You just need to be able to clear out and understand that other people aren't always going to be speaking for your highest good, even if they're in a position where they should be, i.e. a manager, someone who you report to, those types of things. But I do see good things coming for you. You just got to embrace your own truth for the time being.
Oh my God, I totally got gaslighting as you were saying that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like somebody's just blowing me off or whatever I'm
Oh,
saying.
uh-huh.
That is so horrible. Verena, thank you for joining us. Have you been here before, Verena? I don't recognize your name, but if it's your first time, thank you for joining us. Kira was still here. We got her. It was good. Bobby says, here's a funny and fun, the Tumblr dry sale. Yeah. Things, I have no edit button. Things just kind of come out. So
it's a great quality of yours, honestly.
We got Tony, and I'm doing Rob, and then Joseph, you're next. And then Eli, Ellie is after that. Sorry, Ellie. And I'm going to say this when Tony says, "Well, thank you, Daniel. You are welcome. I'm glad you joined us today." Okay, so sorry, I've got Bobby and then Joseph after that. So Bobby, and remember, everybody, we're in the last 15 minutes. So if you're going to tag anybody to join us, this is the time to do it. If you would like to tip or donate, our Venmo and Cash App is scrolling down at the bottom. And thank you, Bobby, for the donation. We appreciate you donating. So, Bobby, here we go. For you, in our yesterday, it is Archangel Michael with the root chakra, but it's upside down. So, are we having trouble staying grounded, staying centered, like our energy is being pulled in 100 million different directions? And that could be because we're all tied up at the moment. This is what's going on. We're all tied up, and people are like, "Well, what do you mean by tied up?" It could be mental, physical, or spiritual. That things just don't seem to be evolving. Like I feel like I'm spinning in mud. If you ever got caught in the mud, and you know how that is, it's like the will. You no matter how much you press the gas, you're not going anywhere, and that's usually because the tires are not grounded. Now, the cool thing for you, Bobby, is that in our outcome, it's the second chakra. So this is Archangel Ariel. Ariel is coming to tell you that things are going to be balanced. As soon as you get grounded, we will come to understand that some things are ending so that other things can start. There's light on one side, so there's darkness on the other. Think about the earth. The earth rotates, and when the sun hits it on one side, it's night on the other side of the world. That's how our energies are. There has to be light and dark. And for every entrance into the tunnel, that's right, there's an exit. So as you are entering this tunnel right now, Bobby, just know that there's an exit in the way. Just keep going. Don't stop. Again, one of the cards that keeps popping up. This is the personal healing and happiness. You're on your way to find that happiness again. So whatever it was that got you all tied up, that got you uprooted in your emotions, physical, spiritual, or mental, we're coming down to the end of it, but you've got to accept happiness. Let go of the guilt. A lot of us have it. Survivor's guilt, particularly after coming out of COVID. A lot of us are like coming out of that into that guilt, even if you've had COVID, but somebody else had it worse. We're like, oh my God, why me, not them? Now, in your heart, there's a community of people there to help you out. So count on the community to help you. They're there and willing. So accept the relationship, especially as we're coming out of some financial constraints. This is the outcome card, and your outcome card, or what we need to work on, is some of those financial situations. But you're coming out of it. So what it tells me is that make sure call on Archangel Michael to get you grounded. Count on your community to help you through the situation, particularly when it comes to financial situations. Because see, there's a couple of doors there, and they're opening up for you, particularly when you're on your way to happiness. Money that is owed to you, this is a good time to ask for it. It's a good time to ask for it. So rub your fingers, visualize that money, and say, "Money, money, 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 come to me." Like say it about 3 times. It's there, but you need to ask for it. People sometimes forget that they owe us money, so you need to remind them that they owe you, and that's how things will get into balance, and that's how you're all tied up will come to an end. I hope that made sense, but a lot of this right now, I'm going to put it on the ball's in your court. It's up to you to knock on those doors, and don't be concerned about what they're going to think. You need this to turn around, but you're driving this car right now, so basically it's on to you. I hope that made sense. um, Tony Gala said, wow, I read that one. Thank you. And Zarina said, wow, this is my first time. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I hope you will come back and join us. So I got Bobby, um, you got Joseph, and then I've got Ellie after that.
Perfect. All right, Joseph. So, interesting turn as far as readings for tonight. I feel like the situation that you have experienced as of late is very heavy, very life changing. Starting you out, you have in the you now position the Five of Cups. And in this, you see there's a person that is kind of mourning over 3 cups that have spilled. However, there is on the other side 2 that are still upright. So the message of this card, although there's some type of loss that you've experienced in your life, there is still good there for you. There are still things present for you. It's just hard to see, especially when you're so focused on the loss. With that being said, the card that's crossing you or your current challenge is the Seven of Cups. And this card's all about having options. And what I feel like with this card for you specifically is that it feels like there are so many options for what you can do going forward, and none of them feel fulfilling. None of them feel like they're the right thing. And I feel like there's still this longing for what used to be. So whatever it is that you've lost, it does feel like it's, to me, I don't typically say this outright, but I feel like there's someone that you've lost in your life, someone that may have passed over, someone that maybe no longer is speaking to you, or someone that you've chosen no longer speak to. But there's been some type of disconnection with this important person energy. And to you, it is a karmic death to a degree. Your theme card is the Ten of Swords, which represents karmic death. It's being able to know that you've learned the lessons that you've needed to up to this point. So with this relationship of whoever it was with this person, there is this knowing of you've learned everything that you can from the situation, so have they, and it's now time to move on. The lessons have been learned, and you get to move forward enlightened to a degree. With that being said, recent past affecting your present is the world reversed. So again, this is also what's leading me to believe that there is a person that you may have lost, because it's turned your world upside down, and it feels as though the world is not the same. It won't ever be the same. Along with that, current influences, you have the King of Cups reversed. Again, so it's focus on heavier emotions, not necessarily dark emotions, but being able to process those heavier emotions. And I feel like that's what you're going through at this time. And coming into future influences, you have the Two of Cups, which is the unofficial lovers card. So what that tells me is that this situation is playing out in a way to help you grow in your relationships going forward. Being able to appreciate what has been is going to help you better understand and better embrace what's coming in for you as far as love and relationships in the future. With that being said, what you're focused on is the Genie, Nine of Cups. This card is kind of like the you wish and it will come true. And what this tells me is that they're still wishing for the past. There's still this immense need to get back to where you used to be. And it's hard. I know that it's extremely challenging to accept, and there's not really a way to get back to that place. And it wouldn't be good for you or the other party. Everything has played out. In my opinion, everything happens for a reason. I know that there's crazy things that happen in the world, and that's not always seeming to be an applicable statement. But I think usually with time, whether it's a short period of time, 6 months to many years, I think we come to understand and accept that as a truth for sure, because our ego wants to hold on to the present moment. What the universe is providing you in the situation is the Nightmare card reverse. So to me, this tells me that this is the worst that it can possibly get for you. This is the most challenging that the situation will be, and the universe is revealing it to you for your highest good. So although it feels challenging, although it feels like you don't want to move forward, know that the universe has revealed this to you so that you can move forward and embrace better relationships in the future and better connect with others in the future as well. Your outcome card is the Fool reverse. So again, this really ties together the sense of see this as a fresh start. The fact that it's reversed tells me you still may have challenges with it, but when you do, just allow yourself to be thankful for the events that have occurred up to this point and for how events have played out. And then being able to do that, I think, and making some sort of gratitude list from it, being thankful for what has occurred, will help you to be able to move forward in a fresh light.
Excellent. Thank you. And finally, Ellie. Oh, I should have done the spread before I.
You were so enthralled. I must done okay on that last one. My goodness. While you're shuffling, I wanted to say a big thank you to my sister. I have my new. It's like a chakra light, and it obviously filters through, but my sister got me that for Christmas, and I knew exactly that I wanted to be able to put it up to showcase it during here. So thank you, sister.
I noticed it when we started. I'm like, I hadn't seen that before. It's really nice, and it's changing colors, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, before I go to Ellie, thank you. Strange as I started typing my thank you, my computer shut down, even though it was plugged into power. Aha! I always hear good guidance. There you go. If that's not trying to get your attention, I don't know what is.
Right.
So, Ellie, to you, let's start off with yesterday. In your yesterday, this is all about the deceit. The deceit is back into the conversation, but this is about the things that we recognize, that we found out, all the things that you were told, that you were like, ha, I knew it. I knew something was going on, particularly. And here's the community again. Everybody, there's a lot of community energy around us at the moment. Count on your community. And now, community can be friends, siblings, family, anybody that you go to, your your tribe, your circle, your what covenant, whoever you go to for support, they're there right now. Now, some of the love energy around you, the angel of love came out upside down. So there is some lost love. So I feel like the deceit is going to cause somebody in your ripple, in your energy field, to step away from you. But remember, when somebody steps away, it just leaves space for somebody to come in. So, but give yourself time to mourn that relationship leaving, even if they're leaving on bad terms. People sometimes say, "Oh, I got into a fight with my best friend. We're not going to be friends anymore." Whatever. Give yourself time to mourn the relationships, even when they end abruptly and bad. Now, what this is going to do, because in your spirit, it's going to, there's the money, there's the female energy with the coin, but it tells me that this people were a little toxic, that energy was sucking some of that energy out of your spirit, and it's going to bring that energy back to you. So again, I appreciate, we talked about this appreciation earlier. We appreciate you, person, for being in my life up to now. I release you now, and I welcome new positive energies that'll help me move forward. So this is going to get you out of that mud. We're stuck in the mud again. Now, the reason it's happening because your heart, there's the sun in your heart. The sun brings clearness. It brings the light. It put a lot of things into light, which is why the deceived card was in the past. We stop with the BS. We're seeing things clear now. And the outcome of this is more caring connections in your way. Now, this card shows a couple, but it could very easily be friendships, relationships within the family. It could be professional too. So, for everybody listening, if this is more professional than personal, go in that direction. So, what it tells me is that deceiveness leaves your life and everything comes to light when it comes to relationships. It'll fill your spirit, but it can also bring financial securities, particularly when it comes to love and people in your community. So I feel like there's some good changes. But remember, everybody, whenever people, places, and things leave our lives, we must mourn them. We must let go of that energy. Say goodbye in the most proper way so that you don't feel that void, because the voids will get full of negative energy. We let it go. We appreciate it. When we talked earlier about the appreciation, about I appreciate you being here, but you're gone now, and thank you for it. You want to add anything to that, Wayne?
I think you said it very well. It's very interesting how those last two kind of lined up in a lot of ways.
Right? Um, Bobby said, "Ha, LOL." So it made sense to him. I'm glad it made sense. Um, Before we go, we want to remind everybody, um, just to let you know, we started a new show here at Little Mixer Productions Inc. every other Monday. So this Monday we're off, but we might be doing it a weekly show pretty soon. But in 2 Mondays from now, we're back with Insightful. Insightful is a movie review show, and we're going to be talking about Torch Song Trilogy. Starts at 6 p.m. 9 Eastern. We don't have a co-host right now, so if you're a fan of the movie and you saw it and you want to talk about it, we're looking for a third co-host. Christian and I are hosting, and just come on the show and talk about it. What it meant to you, if it meant anything, if it influenced you in any way, if you liked the characters, if you didn't. And I believe right now you can find it on HBO Plus. So if you have HBO Plus, it is playing there. So go Google it. But if you Google Torch Song Trilogy, it'll tell you where it's playing. So go look for it right now. Remember, on Monday mornings, we have our horoscopes on all of our platforms. On the evenings, we might be here with Insightful. On Wednesdays, it's the Christian and Daniel show. And on Fridays, we're back with Divo presents Zodiacs with my my friend and co-host, Mr. Richard Wayne Kilgo. And then on Saturdays, we have Put It Together Conversations, which is the only show that airs in the morning. It's 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. All the other shows are at 6 p.m., 9 Eastern. So make sure you put that in your calendar. If you're watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, please follow us on our pages. Tell your friends about the show so they can join us every week. If you're on YouTube, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It'll let you know every time there's a new posting on our page. And we're always looking for more subscribers. Oh, before I forget, if you want to find, if you want private sessions with either Wayne or myself, this is Wayne's Instagram. Make sure you go check him out. Follow him. He's also got a fabulous photography, real estate photography
Yes.
business. You want to tell them a little bit about that before we go?
Yes. So I offer real estate photography, videography. I am Part 107 FAA certified, licensed. So I do drone work as well, virtual tours. So the whole gamut to feature your property. I operate mostly out of Orange County, Inland Empire. I do travel to Los Angeles and San Diego counties. And if you are interested, richardkilgophotography.com will give you examples of my portfolio, pricing, and I also just started a business bundle where if you have a small business that you're looking to feature more marketing materials for online and social media, it's a package where you get at least 10 photos that are real estate listing quality of your business, and then we create 4 video reels featuring your products and services that you can use over and over on social media. So if that's something you're interested in as well, richardkilgophotography.com.
Thank you. As you can see, we're all multi-purpose here.
Yes, and I wanted to jump in, Daniel, and I listened to Daniel's radio takeover last week, and it was so cool. I know, I think you can still stream that, right, Daniel? People could go back in and listen in, and can they still donate to that as well?
Yes, today is the last day, but I think you can still donate after that if you want to donate to the station. But yes, I was part of the KWFM Laguna Beach radio station takeover. So what they do is once a year for their fundraisers, they give a chance to people in the community to take over 1 hour of show. And I did the Friday show at noon because for some reason, and I got to do some card readings. Actually, I had a playlist of 15 songs. They only played five, and they were like, "Wow, this playlist is really cool," because it was all very like dreams and wishes, and it was very musical. Of course,
I loved it.
I had to have Stevie Nicks on there,
Hmm.
and I had Selena,
Aquarius,
yes, Aquarius, Selena with "Dreaming of
great
You."
opening.
It was all great songs, but I if you follow me on any of my pages, it's probably on there. If not, reach out and I'll give you the link. But it was really, really, really fun. So
I loved it. It was so cool, and I was here. I had my speaker set up, and I was listening the whole hour along with Zap. We were listening in, and I was just thinking how cool it was that you did it, and I loved every moment of it. So I definitely recommend if you didn't get a chance to see Daniel in it, go check it out. And if you have time to do it today, go do it today, and definitely donate some money because it was a great hour that he took
we
over.
really appreciate it. Thank you for all of you that were able to donate. We appreciate you. If you got a reading and you still feel inclined, all donations are accepted. We appreciate it. Make sure to tune in next Friday, 6 p.m., 9 Eastern, for another hour of The Card Table Presents Zodiacs with Daniel and Wayne. Until then, we will see you folks next week. Bye.